In this video, I'll be talking about the Caw Ty Beanie Baby. I'll be doing a comparison between an authentic caw and a counterfeit caw. The caw on the right hand side is an authentic, and the counterfeit on the left side is just he's a bigger, plumper looking caw. The fabrics alone are different color. The fabric on the beaks are different color. The tie is more orange. The one on the left is just an off color orange, as well as the size of the heads. The counterfeit is much bigger. You can see taller, bigger, and as well as the body alone. The body on the counterfeit is bigger this way than the authentic, and the feet are bigger on the counterfeit. First, we'll just take a look at the beak. Even if you look at them sideways, you can see the shape is a lot different. The authentic's a little bit more pointy, coming out this way, a little thinner this way. The counterfeit is just more rounded, as well as thicker. Do a comparison, you can see kind of even the length of it's bigger, as well as the feet. The feet alone are, you can see a big difference in the color as well as the size. The counterfeit on the left hand side, the fabric's more of a flannel type, and when I go against it, it's very rough, whereas the tie fabric is very smooth when you go back and forth on it. It's a very smooth type of fabric. Even if you take a look at it on the beak, the original tie fabric's very smooth regardless of which way you move the fabric. When I look at the counterfeit, I go against it, you can see it's very rough. It feels very rough when you go against it. And the eyes are a big difference as well. The authentic eyes are recessed inside the fabric. So when you take the beanie and you turn it sideways, it's almost recessed. The fabric's almost smooth. On the counterfeit, the eyes are more bubbly and they stick out a lot more. They're just a little bit bigger eye, and you can feel when you go over them that they're more of a bubble type of a eye here. When I take a look at the tags, the counterfeit will be on the left. Let me get these tags lined up. There's a color difference. The one on the left is a little bit more orangey, and the original has that deep red look. Now, when I look inside the tags, let me get these tags up here. The counterfeit will be on the bottom. You can see the hole punch is very rough, and the actual tag itself is very thin. It's very pliable. It's almost like paper. And the original tag, it's almost like cardboard. It's very dense, a lot more dense. So that's a big giveaway that I look at when I look at tags. As well as you can see a little bit of an oranginess coming through on the counterfeit tag, and that's due to the red dye that seeps through from the front. And I notice right off the bat the font style. The counterfeit on the bottom here is just a smaller, thinner type of a font. And some of the punctuation on the left hand side, you can see sometimes you got copyright, sometimes you don't, but you can just see that the font size and the color of the print sometimes is really different. The back side, that doesn't look like there's too much different other than maybe the size and maybe how light the print is on the back, and maybe some slight spacing that's in there. When I look at the tush tags, the original tush tag on the caws, they came with either a black and white or a second gen, which is a red and white tush. This authentic Ty tush tag has a 1995 copyright date. That's the legitimate date on this. This particular caw, the fake one, came with a second gen tush tag, and it does have a 1995 copyright date on it, but the tush tag is very orangey. It's a very orange type of a color, as well as the oranginess on the back. Now I have another second gen tush tag here so I can show you the color difference between the two. The one on the left is very orangey, and the one on the right is more of a red. Sometimes it's hard to pick up in the videos, but there's a big difference. As well as you can see like the registered mark The one on the left, the counterfeit's a little bit bigger. These particular beanies both have 1995 copyright dates, but the one on the left, which is the counterfeit one, is more orangey, and the authentic is a deeper red color. Now, the other thing that I notice on the Caws is if I look at the stitching on the back, the counterfeit ones on the left-hand side here, the stitching is very poorly done. You can actually see some of the threads coming out and showing on the back side of it, whereas the authentic is sewn very nicely here. And also the tails. When I look at the difference of the tails, the counterfeit tail is it's a shorter, wider type of a tail, and then the original is a longer, more of a longer tail and a thinner tail. So that's a pretty good big giveaway as well. So just to recap on these guys, the fake versus the authentic, you've got the beaks, which are the size of the beaks, the size of the head, the color differences. You can see here, you can see the bulging eye on the counterfeit on the left, as well as the size of the feet. You got the feet that are pretty big, as well as the feel of the fabric. One feels more flannelly than the other. And then you have the swing tags. They Caw only came with 3rd generation swing tags, and you can definitely see on the counterfeit one, you can see the font differences that are inside the tag here, as well as a little bit of the oranginess, yellowish dye coming through the hole there, plus the hole punches pretty sloppily done. Not much difference on the back, but you could definitely see a little bit of a color and size difference spacing. Of course, you got the tail differences that I just spoke about. You got one on the left, which is a counterfeit, a little shorter, wider. Real one is longer. And then the copyright dates on the originals are 1995, black and white, or it came with copyright date in 1995 in a red and white tush tag. So the Caws are pretty obvious on some of these fakes. As you know, you've got to keep in mind the shapes and the colors on him.